to Europa Universalis 4. I am Lord Forward here with another continuation of our weekly multiplayer live stream. So, obviously, this is going up, the server is going up a bit before the start time so people can join in. Hopefully, we'll have a good amount of people this time. And I will be back talking to you guys in about 10 or so minutes or longer once we actually have a lot of people here. So it looks like we've got a couple people wandering in. So we've got Max as Burgundy again, Pancake as Ireland, Pumpkin Turtle as Scottish Great Britain, me, of course, as Russia, and it looks like Average is going to observe right now. So we've still got a little while to go before we actually start, probably another 10 or so minutes, and then we'll get started. Of course, anyone who might be listening, if you do wish to join, feel free to. It's Lord Forwin's server, multiplayer, standard stuff. You can play pretty much anybody. We already had one person say they're not showing up. Blizzard is not available to make it, so that means the Ottomans are somewhat open. And maybe I'll have Average as a vassal of Kiev. Also, we now have a Discord chat room, thanks to Max. So if we have enough people, people can actually chat. All nations, Europe, HRE, Asia, Africa. Link to the Discord, of course, is in the description. And people are more than welcome to chat in there. I probably won't jump into it just because then I would get everybody's talking, and I don't know if everybody wants to hear everyone else's talking. But considering we've got a fair amount of viewers, you're more than welcome to join. Going silent now for another 5 or so, 10 minutes, just till we get either more people or we have to start. Um, okay, so it looks like we got another person showing up. Jota, or Hota, if that's Hispanic. How do you join? You go under multiplayer on the main menu, and then you search for the game, scan internet, or you can just search for my game specifically. It should be on one of the higher ones in terms of people in it, considering we've got 5 people, which is above average. And then you should just be able to join at that point. If not, if that doesn't all work out, you can always send me a friend request through Steam, and I can invite you that way if necessary. Um, what's the server name? The server name should be Lord Forwind. Yes, this should be fun. Japan is currently not picked. I don't think our Japan player is showing up for sure. Pretty much what nations you see on the map are pretty much available, the ones that aren't colored in. Our Ottoman player isn't coming. I don't believe our France player is ever going to come back, but France is currently in a war versus Aragon and stuff. And I don't believe Castile, Aragon has anybody. Obviously, nobody is over in Asia at the moment, so quite a few nations are available. Obviously, the only thing that would change is if somebody who had already played the country showed up and really wanted to play it. But I think so far we've got enough casual people here that if, and except for the main people, which are pretty much me, Max, Pumpkin, Turtle, and Pancake, everything else is up for grabs. Yeah, the Russian player's pretty good in the scheme of things. Russian player's pretty good. I guess I clicked off of it by accident. Whoops. Yeah, I'm Russia. Ah, looks like we have a new player, Darius. Hello, Darius. That's no problem. Some people have some time. Considering we've got a couple people who are still joining, we'll wait another couple minutes before we actually start. Of course, at least for now, we have hut join enabled just because people tend to show up 10-20 minutes after actually we start. If it gets to too many hut joins or too many failures, obviously I will turn off hut join and we'll have to invite people another way. Obviously, kind of rough rules. If you keep disconnecting and stuff, we're just going to ask you not to keep rejoining. But we're going to run at speed 3, obviously. So. Are we going to have our first New World player? Darius is the Cree. That'll be interesting. Well, here's the current map of players. I'm Russia. The average is Kiev. Pumpkin Turtles, Great Britain. Max is Burgundy. Pancakes, Ireland. El Hota is Bahamanis. Darius is apparently as the Creek. And I have no idea whose Jimmy's World is going to play as right now. By the way, just as a rough rule of thumb, obviously we don't try and kill players. If you've got a problem with another person, excuse me, try and work it out. Of course, if they're not being reasonable, then of course war is allowed, but actually wiping out people is not a particular thing. So if Darius, rather than playing as the Pueblo, wants to play as the Creek Indians, they're more than welcome to, and they'll just have to work around the colonizers. Caddo is only OP if you start with it and can actually move down to the Nahuatl nations and switch religions. It's really powerful. Mio IOU and Taxes, that would be an interesting mod to play. I haven't entirely enjoyed it the last couple times I played it, but I know it's updated a lot, so. Yeah, just take a glance through the rules in the live chat or on Discord. There's nothing really too strenuous about them. It's just if somebody really starts bullying other people, you would get kicked. Not to be mean or anything, but we're here to have fun with people, not conquer the world. Also, we're probably going to start in a couple minutes, just once Jimmy picks a nation, which they have Castile, and unless anyone else is going to join, I think we'll start. For future reference, the Discord server is in the description. By the way, everybody, that's due to Max, so of course thanks Max again. And I think unless anyone else is joining, we're going to jump into this. Doesn't seem like anyone else is showing up, so here we go. So, just as a quick rundown as we start, we have Darius as the Pueblo. Congratulations, I think you're our first New World nation. We have I assume that's El Hota down there in Bahamanas. Me as Russia, and then of course the standard people, and Jimmy's World as Castile, and the average as Kiev. So here we go. So while we load, I'll just do a couple housekeeping notes of my own. First off, I've gotten over a bad cold, so I probably won't be talking too much. If I do start coughing, I will mute myself. So if I suddenly mute myself, that's probably why. Also, I've just finished my Great Britain England Let's Play, and so I'm looking for either a new country or a different game. I might go back and continue some of my other games I've been playing. But if anyone has any suggestions for that, that would be appreciated. We'll give everybody a minute here and then we'll start. So also just as another note, Discord also has chat rooms now where people can actually talk to other people. And there's also a picture gallery for anyone's multiplayer pictures or just any games you guys have from pretty much Europa. But if you have like Hearts of Iron and stuff, feel free to post those as well. All right, here we go, everybody. Hopefully everybody is all set. So this is, of course, our fourth session. It is April 15th, 72, so we still got quite a ways to go, but we're off to a pretty good start. Last time we managed to get through, oh, must have been 30, almost 40 years of gameplay, although we did have a lot of starts, stops, and pause, so hopefully we'll get further this time. But this should be quite exciting. What's my income at the moment? Well, I've got a couple loans, so I've got 6 interest, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. 2 per month, although I have mothballed forts, but once my gold income here is keeping me afloat for the moment. Ooh, I just realized we don't actually have an Ottoman player, so there may be a war between me and the Ottomans at some point. That might not be too exciting. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm hoping I'll find some more gold in Siberia. Um, Switzerland and get all gold provinces. I don't know. I did Switzerland, and I've got to say I don't like the Swiss the way they are right now. Um, they don't really work for me as historically the Swiss. Okay, actually, sorry, what's going on here? Ooh, actually got a pretty good air out of that. Cool. Have I taken admin? I don't believe I've actually taken admin. I took religious and then I took influence because I was getting too much aggressive expansion expanding. But I'll probably take admin next tech, honestly. I just really got to finish off the hordes and everything first. And considering, Blizzard, you're not here to stop me or threaten me, I have the ability to invade them without too much issue. I'll be interested to see what happens in Ba'amanis. Should be interesting. It looks like we actually lost one of our players, unfortunately. Actually, no, we didn't. Sorry. For some reason, I thought Darius was still playing the Creek Indians, but they're not. Well, apparently the Ottomans are in such a great position. They are really going expansionistic. This should be very interesting. They're now after Ethiopia. Now, we'll see how that goes. Best of luck to them. Well, actually not particularly best of luck, because we don't want them to do too well. We'll see if the Ottomans actually come after me. I suspect they will. Considering they've already got a foothold in Italy, it could be dangerous. It looks like Jimmy's World had a bit of issue with Castile and Aragon. That's probably... You could probably get out of that, Castile. I'm sure Max might be willing to help you. Max has got quite a military up there in Europe, and is probably looking for someone to conquer after beating up France, but... Again, you'd have to talk to him about that. Also, Average, if you're listening, you can actually afford to develop your own lands. I don't need all the money in the world. Also, in case people are wondering, this is a game with all the DLCs, so everybody here has got all of those wonderful options. Thanks to Paradox. Wonderful. If you're playing with somebody with all of it, you get all of it too. I do enjoy that policy despite having to get lots of different DLCs. Oh well. I'm sad that we lost our Yemen and Timurids player. They were quite fun last time they were here, but I guess they were unable to make it today. Speaking of which, who am I actually allied to? Huh, I'm allied to Bohemia and Japan. I forgot all about Japan over there. I think we've had two different people playing now. Whoops, apparently we've lost Average for the moment. Hopefully Average will be back. If not, well, we're continuing anyway. Okay, sorry Average. Nice having you show up for a little while. My. Yeah, the game with all the DLCs is expensive. I've been playing since literally the day it released. How many hours am I up to now? Some absurd amount of hours. I still have yet to conquer the world. I kind of want to try and do that for my next run. I am up to 3,170 hours of this. The DLCs are expensive, but if you get them on sale, it's not as outrageous as it sounds. Plus, you can ignore all the cosmetic ones. They're totally useless. Oh, thank you. I'm a great player. I guess I am. I can pretty much get most missions in the game given time. Some of them are rather difficult, but I have as of yesterday in some work, reached 49% of all Europa achievements gotten. I need a couple more to hit 50%. I'd like to do that. But pretty much at this point, I'm down to pretty much crazy world conquest or other stuff. So it's a bit difficult. The one I really want to get is either world conquest, or I would really like to do the Buddhist Strike Back achievement is still on. So I'm hoping the new India DLC expansion stuff will make that a little bit easier. I know it's doable right now, but I don't know how long I have to actually grind that out. That's why I haven't tried it lately. The other thing I want to do is I want to try and play my Crusader Kings 2 game I've been releasing stuff of, the Taoist, all the way up to the start date of Europa and then continue from there. I think that would be rather fun, see what the world looks like with the new world. It looks like we've lost Jimmy's world for the moment. Maybe they'll be back, but unfortunately the casualties are mounting, but we're down to a small core of people. I was thinking if enough people wanted it, although I prefer not to restart completely, if enough people are wanting to join but don't want to jump into a game already in progress, that we could start a new live stream, but we are only 130 years into this, so it does take some time, unfortunately. Ooh, I found gold. I found gold. Cyan, where is that? That's gotta be, oh, that's interesting. Where is that province? Oh, there it is. I found more gold. That's nice. The other thing I'd be open to doing would be just doing more live streams of me just playing it in single player, if people are interested in that. Somebody was telling me that I really should do stuff on Twitch, but I don't know about that. Really, live streams are just a chance for me to talk to you guys and interact with other people who actually like Europa. It's not one of the most popular games in the world, unfortunately, despite how good it is. Okay, average. That's fine. You did give me a little bit of help there as Kiev. So, making Kiev very strong apparently. But more importantly, at least for how my game's going, I will have now completed the Russian traditional idea tree, which should help quite a bit. The lovely morale and reduced fire damage is really strong. Yeah, I'd be more than willing to talk to other people. Discord is more just kind of build sort of a small community if people want to chat and get in contact with me and other stuff. Um, right now, I'm just talking to myself. Talking to yourself for a living, that's what they say YouTubers do. Well, I'm not making a living off of it, but I am talking to myself most of the time. I only have like 2 people who are actually willing to record things with me, so. And most of them are usually busy, so. It's a hobby. Well, if I got to 1,000 subscribers, I could actually make some money off of it. I wouldn't mind hitting that because then I could at least pay for the new Paradox DLCs. Although I'd have to make quite a bit of money to do that sometimes, I wonder. But it would be cool making a living off doing it. I'd probably still do other stuff too. I'm not nearly popular enough for a lot of people to join my channel. But it's one reason I kind of want to branch out from other games, just so I draw more people into the games, and hopefully more people into Europa, and in general the Paradox games. They're a sadly underappreciated and underpopular company for their level of quality games. Oh yeah, I was doing something with the last Congo player, but actually, yeah, they didn't come back. That was kind of weird. But we can all appreciate the mighty power that is my name, how huge it is. Yeah, I guess I'm a nice person. What can I say? If only I were humble, I'd be perfect. The biggest issue is I don't know any other YouTubers, and yes, Max, the jokes are starting. That was a joke, in case anyone missed that. I actually haven't come across Bravis Gaming. I've watched some of Suking 666. I don't always understand what they're doing, but I don't know if any of them would be interested in doing videos and stuff. If they would, I'd probably do multiplayer or just chat with them to figure stuff out. But sadly, it's difficult to actually get in contact with other YouTubers because then you do have to set up times and dates, and you have to trust them to be reliable. I will tell you, trying to do 1 video or so a day, it's not easy. It's really not easy to keep it up, especially for as long as I have. I never thought I would still be doing this after, what, I think 3 years now almost? Pretty crazy when you think about it. But hey, if you guys know any YouTubers who want to do stuff, I'm more than willing to try and cooperate on videos. But right now, my ability to track them down is a bit limited. Got a busy schedule. I really need to find somebody to fight in this game, but everybody is allied to some rather strong nations. I guess I suppose I could beat up the Great Horde, but I'm a little worried about how strong the Ottomans are right now. I mean, I guess I could take them in a fight, but again, being able to take the Ottomans in a fight is always a bit of a challenge. Poland is relatively weak. They're only allied to Lithuania, Mecklenburg, and Munster. I'd like to attack Lithuania, but I have a feeling, yeah, Austria, Poland, and Sweden would join them. And that's not necessarily a combination of people I'm ready to fight. Probably win it, but... Plus I actually have a truce with Sweden, so I can't beat them up either. Hey, if you became a YouTuber and you were good and reliable about it, yeah, I'd probably do a video with you. But you'd have to do it. You'd have to become a YouTuber. It's not as easy as it sounds to get started. I don't think you guys can see the analytics, but if you could, you'd realize that I think I only passed 300 subscribers in January, so at the beginning of this year. So to be almost at 700 is quite a growth rate. And that was after 2 or some odd years. The only reason I got any subscribers really at all was doing country guide videos. So. But I do want to do other games. I do play quite a bit of other games other than Europa. I just keep coming back to Europa because of how good a game it is. I mean, that's the big reason I play Europa, is it's a really solid game. Yeah, Max, that growth rate is pretty crazy. Lately, I've been getting like 7 to 8 people a day. Specifically, my Prussian guide video is really the cause of like 90% of the growth of the channel. Yeah, it doubled in a few months. If that keeps up, I would probably pass 1,000 at the end of the year, and then I can actually get back to actually maybe making money off of it. They changed the money-making rules of YouTube just as I was about to actually make money off of playing games. So, that was a bit frustrating, but they've also been more encouraging of smaller channels lately, which is nice. Also, again, I'll just throw this out there. If there's anybody watching who wants to play, you're more than welcome to join. You're more than welcome to join. Still have hut join enabled because nobody has really been joining. So, we'd love to have you. We're down to 5 people. I've really got to pay off all this debt before I can actually start any wars, and that is taking a while. Being at really high army maintenance is actually costing me a lot of money. Oh, I've done guides on the big countries. Oh, I've definitely done guides on all the big countries pretty much. I think the only one I haven't done a guide on is, in Europe at least, is Lithuania. I think I've done a guide on everybody else. Or maybe Burgundy. I don't really play Burgundy that much. Yeah, you can guys check that out. I have a whole playlist of those. I really have to do more guide videos. It's just, at some point I actually want to play the game rather than just give advice. I was recently watching, who was I watching? I was watching Flurry Worry play some stuff, and I learned some interesting new tricks from watching him do it. So that was cool, but I am nowhere near the craziness he's at, considering he's caused Paradox to target his exploits several times just to get rid of them because of how well he's done on them. Well, while we're sitting here, I guess I'll open it up to if anyone has any questions. You're willing to ask that. If not, I might have to Tormax Max and dig out my joke book just to drive him crazy. Or I'll have to start a war, but starting a war because one's bored is not the best justification for a war, even if it is Europa. Oh, thank you, Max. Max said the first video he saw of me was the Brandenburg guy. It helped a lot. Yeah, I really like Brandenburg. Brandenburg is rather OP if you play them right, and I've played them into Prussia about 8 or 9 times now. Formed Germany with them twice. Formed the HRE with them once. Still have yet to conquer out tons and tons of land with them. It's just because of how slow they are really to get rolling. And unfortunately, I don't really like their government other than that +3 military skill for their rulers, because by the time I ever form Prussia, I am already so massive that I don't actually can't get militarization at all, which is sad. Oh, you're welcome, Caesar. I like Austria. Austria and Saxony are a very, very different game from. I include Saxony. A very different game from most of the rest of Europa because you can actually legitimately play them diplomatically. Really because their frequency of the airs, but also because they actually have diplomatic reputation built into them. I would like it if Paradox did something with non-Christian nations, sort of with dynasty stuff. It'd be kind of cool if you got a bonus for getting your dynasty on the throne of another nation, even if you're Muslim, even if you can't get personal unions. It'd be kind of interesting. They could definitely do something with tribal federation unions because their dynasty mattered a lot to them. And the name and power of Russia grows once more. Oh wow, I can actually fight somebody if I wanted to in Siberia? I might have to go do that. Excuse me while I go conquer some poor innocent Siberian natives. I really want to finish off some of these hordes though. I might actually start this fight over here against Kazan as well, because they are fairly weak. I'm still sending a force out to go kill the poor Siberians, but could give me quite a bit of land winning this war. I could also probably go beat up Uzbek as well. How is Bavaria staying as emperor? I'm kind of curious why Bavaria is emperor. Oh, because it's Protestant. That would be why. I was confused why Bavaria was beating everybody else. I forgot that Protestantism was a thing. My bad. Ooh, that is a nice region to bring into the fold for Russia. Let's get some gold. Let the gold flow. That should make a big difference in our income. Okay, time to pick a fight with Kazan, and more importantly, I can actually call the Timurids to help me, which is rather surprising. Thanks to whoever was playing the Timurids before, your friendliness is helping me beat up the AI. Not that I'm sure that's necessarily a great endorsement for the fact that we're actually missing our player, but it's still rather fun. I'm actually kind of amazed how weak the Timurids are. They're off to a really... they're fairly a large nation, but they don't seem to be doing too well. I don't know what's up with that. Also, before I forget, a slight trick that not a lot of people know when they play Europa is that if you want to do a movement command, if you hold down Shift when you assign movement commands, you can actually assign multiple commands at once. Like I can click on a province, steer it here, then here, then here, then here, and here, and it will actually follow that path. It's rather handy when you're hunting armies, that's why I mention it. Well, lucky for you to get the Dutch lowlands in the succession crisis. That's actually kind of really lucky. You don't have to worry about the Dutch revolts for a while. You do have to worry about them, definitely. The only way to avoid them, as far as I'm aware, is to culturally convert all the Dutch provinces to your culture or neighboring culture. I think they start to fire 16 something. I could be wrong, but they are a serious problem. You probably will not be able to hold on to the Dutch lowlands once they start, because they will keep endlessly revolting until they get freedom. It's quite a pain, really, to deal with. Actually, it looks like we have a rejoining player here for the moment, so Average is back. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about the Dutch revolt other than they will revolt in every single one of the Dutch provinces. Even if you let them form the Netherlands, or the Dutch Republic, sorry. If you let them form the Dutch Republic, they will still keep revolting for all provinces that aren't actually owned by their culture. They're quite... It's quite an annoying fact, that rebel event. I kind of wish other parts of the game had a similar mechanic. Not necessarily the frequency of the Dutch rebellions, because the Dutch, oddly enough, are kind of known for rebelling against outside occupying forces. But it would be kind of neat if you like conquer a country. Let's say, for example, I finish off Kazan. It would be kind of cool that after like 30 or 40 years, there could be a mass rebellion for Kazan, which would be kind of cool. By the way, Average, I believe if you're trying to play Norway, then Norway is a vassal of Great Britain, Pumpkin Turtle. Just letting you know. Yeah, cultural conversion is really important if you really want to have stable regions, you can usually get away with not culturally converting. It just there's always that risk that countries will revolt against you later on. Specifically, it's really good if you want to get high absolutism later on. Because if they're their culture, if they're your culture, they're a lot less likely to revolt on you. Why are the Dutch so angry? I would actually have to ask some of my Dutch relatives about that. In-laws, of course. I think it was more that the Dutch are fiercely independent. They like being Dutch and not having not really being oppressed by other countries. Also, in the case of the Dutch rebellions against both the Spanish and the Austrians, I believe it was partially also religious issues. Anyway, here we go again. Now that we've got average back, hopefully average will stay back. And nope, average is gone again. Okay, that was fast. I think average, you've got some internet issues. Oh, yeah, I didn't know you were Dutch, Max. Do you have anything specifically to say about it? The Dutch rebellions are actually quite impressive in history, considering the people the Dutch were revolting against. The Spanish Empire, which at the time was, I believe, the largest empire in the world. That was before the British really, you know, went on their world-conquering spree. By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, one of the more fascinating maps in the world is a map of all countries the British haven't invaded. There's like 7 of them. But yeah. The Dutch are, at least historically, were very independent. They didn't want to get involved in as many wars of great kings and empires, if I remember. To be fair, the Dutch rebellions consisted of 1 paragraph in my high school textbooks, so I wouldn't actually have any great knowledge about it. Oh. Okay, average. Not sabotage the nations as much. I don't know why you did that, though, but maybe they had money issues. Boy, these countries don't actually want me to conquer them. Don't they know it's an honor to be part of the great mighty Russian Empire? After all, we have the biggest name. Ah, there, the Russian name expands once more. I have now reached the Pacific. I only missed the, actually, I would actually not be far off from being able to do the relentless push east. Obviously, I'd have to conquer a lot more land, but other than that, that was quite a nice war. Look at that name expand. There we go. Russia's huge now. Yeah, I think that was, yeah, sometimes you get there's some nice development out here in the Russian provinces if you're lucky. Specifically the land I just stole, some of it was developed. Obviously these provinces, this one specifically was developed by me, but there's a 7 up there. It's just more the sheer quantity, I'm pretty sure, for Russia, though. We've almost caught up to the Ottomans, and we should pass them once I actually get Uzbek out of this war. I just want that one province, really. I don't like this Uzbek randomly sticking up here and interrupting my very neat name size. Suppose I can just... Come on, Uzbek. Surely you'll want peace at some point. How long can you hang out? Kazan is overrun, so that don't even matter. Yeah, Blizzard, if you want to join, by all means, we could definitely use you. We're kind of sadly lacking on the human players. Specifically, you could rein in the Ottomans, who are going on quite the conquest spree lately. Yeah, in terms of single national ideas, oh, that's not good. Being called into war to help the Ming. The Siberian frontier is the most overpowered single idea in the game, by far. The Prussian stuff is crazy. There's a couple. The French morale is insane, but overall, in the end, the sheer amount of development and power the Siberian frontier gives you is really strong. The only weakness it has is it doesn't actually allow you to colonize Alaska, which historically the Russians did. Just for those people who don't know, Russia sold Alaska. Sorry, not Canada, Alaska. Sold Alaska to the United States. One of the actual better deals in history in terms of buying land. The U.S. got pretty lucky on that front with what the Louisiana Purchase and a couple other ones were rather nice. The U.S. had a lot of fortunate events happen to it in terms of expansion. To be fair, the U.S. probably would have eventually invaded French Louisiana, but buying it was a huge thing. If you want to join Kevin M, you can either just look for me under the multiplayer games, Lord Forwinds, that's the game name, or you can, in fact, if necessary, send me a friend invite, and if you do that, I would be more than happy to do that style of invite into the game. But currently I am going to be slightly preoccupied because apparently Japan is in a fight with the Ming. So there's that. Joy. So collision of two of the more powerful nations in the game. I am now the largest nation in the game at the moment. Oh yeah, there's no doubt that Prussia overall has better ideas. I'm talking as a singular national idea that the Siberian frontier is more than anything else worth it. If you guys ever want to have just sheer fun, go play a custom nation in North America and give yourself Siberian frontiers. As a Native American, a starting idea of Siberian frontiers, and just watch as you can colonize all of North America really fast. It is ridiculously overpowered. Of course, you have to take really bad ideas or put yourself on easy mode. But Siberian frontiers, if you're colonizing, it's crazy. Same thing with South America. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm not exactly sure the numbers, but I'm pretty sure Russia picks up almost 300 to almost 400 development from colonizing. Not only colonizing, but just the land. You've got a lot of events that expand you eastward. No, I'll be fine. I can easily beat Prussia, given time. I'm Russia. They'll just bleed troops into my lands. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Japan has been forced back to their islands, so there's not that big issue. And it looks like we have a new player here, Demon as Aragon. Okay, nice to see you. Give them a second to be oriented. Let's look at how this war is going. The Ming have 210,000 troops, so they do outnumber me. Let's see, what tech are they at? They're at Mil Tech 14. I'm behind them. No, actually, I'm ahead of them a little bit on that front. Japan's only 11, so that's not too good. See what ideas the Ming have. Administrative quantity, that's one reason. And economic. So really the only thing I have to worry about is quantity, although the fact that they have not only discipline but fire, and they're going to have an endless amounts of troops, that's going to be excitingly fun. We have another player. So that's something. Blizzard is going to play the Ottomans. Okay, Blizzard, we'll reserve you the Ottomans when you get here. Yeah. Apparently we've got a couple people wanting to play now, so this could take a little while. In the meantime, any other questions? I'm more than happy to answer them. Although I'm still kind of wondering if Max has any comments on the Dutch rebellions, because I'd love to hear the perspective of some of these rebellions from the people in it. I always find fascinating talking to British people about the American Revolution, because it's kind of interesting. Oh, okay. Blizzard's claiming that his name is a troll name. Is that true, Blizzard? Ah. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure Blizzard was who Blizzard said they were. Just to be sure, because I've had one other person try and join one of the games I did try and run at one point, and they tried to pretend to be somebody else. So, okay, well, we've got Blizzard back as the Ottomans. Forgive me if I don't use your current name, I'll use your older one. So let's see, currently we have Aragon at war with Tunis and Kilwa. I assume that's El Hota as Ba'amanis at war with Delhi, Baluchistan, Bengal. I'm obviously at war with the Ming. The Ottomans are at war with Venice and the Pope. Okay. Time for me to hopefully not die fighting the Ming. This is going to be very exciting. However, they are suffering 4.5 attrition, which should be very nice. Really wish I knew what this area of the world looked like, though. Oh, maybe I can get some maps here. Okay. Oh, Tunis is dying? Okay. Oh, yep. We lost our Tunis player a while ago, so unfortunately that's the case. They were doing really well, too. That's a shame. Okay, well, I'm assuming everybody is ready, and so here we go back in the game. As we watch to see if the Russians can survive the Ming, because I'm pretty sure Japan actually has no lands on the coast, so... Although I wish I could see what actually is going on over there. Yeah. Took off to discover it on my own. But if the Ming want to keep suffering 5% attrition, I am willing to let them keep suffering that attrition. Well, I intend to make the Ming pay for invading Russia. Oh, to be fair, they're already paying with quite a bit of manpower per month. We can quite literally watch their manpower drop 60 or so per month. 6,000 or so per month. So, if they're willing to keep wasting the time doing that, they're more than welcome to it. In the meantime, I'm going to at least get some of that mission done. Okay. And you really need to be able to attack the Ming soon. Oh, the Ming took that fort. Darn. Okay, well, the war in Siberia has gotten a bit more interesting. Yes, I am actually attacking the Ming in my lands. Oh, we actually have another person wanting to join. Spike. I'm not going to even try to read the string of numbers. Oh. Oh, I did allow them in. Huh. Yeah, being behind as Russia in tech is very frustrating. They have superior morale on us? How in the world did it... A truly great captain. Oh, that sucks. Okay. I don't want to take out another morale advisor, though. We'll win that war, because... we should win that fight. Actually, I should move more troops in. That truly great captain's going to make beating back the Ming a lot harder. Did they get another tech level? I think they did. Oh, shoot. 14. 15. Yeah, the Ming have a superior mil tech to me. Great. Not what I want to see. Not at all. Shoot. Come on. Okay, we are winning this. The Ming keep marching in one by one and dying. But, yeah, being behind in tech as Russia is tough. You really do have to almost develop the land yourself, which is always painful. If they keep dying versus my troops, we'll win this war. They're already hiring mercenaries. It's nice to see. Of course, I'm now suffering my own attrition. Okay, there we go. We actually have the forts retaken, so that's good. I can pull troops back for the time being. One of the key strategies if you're learning Europa is actually learning how to juggle troops on forts, I have found. Knowing how to trick specifically AIs into losing massive amount of troops, because they'll siege one fort, and if you wait, they'll leave the fort behind, and then you can counterattack and retake the fort. Difficult to do, but it does make quite a difference. Sad fact is I'm going to be suffering attrition almost no matter where my troops are stationed. A little bit less there, I guess. I'm perfectly willing to let the Ming overrun eastern Siberia. There's nothing valuable in there anyway. Just a lot of reindeer and open land. Of course there's wood, but who cares about that? How else is the world going? Tunis is actually still around, which is amazing. Although they did lose to the Mamelukes, which is kind of funny. Blizzard's Ottomans seem to have restrained themselves from expansion recently. Is Max doing any conquering as Burgundy? Can't tell, but it does look like Burgundy has expanded recently. This is the one problem playing with Russia, is there's almost nowhere you can move your troops through. Oh well, they actually took my gold province. No wonder I'm losing money. Let's go retake that. That's valuable. The Ming are out of manpower. What a shock. I'm kind of curious how many troops they lost, but sadly I can't actually find that out. They must have lost a good 50,000 troops invading Russia. In the winter, to make it worse. Never invade Russia in the winter. It's like one of the most key lessons of world warfare. Never invade Russia in the winter. Napoleon and the Germans, and I believe the Polish at one point, or maybe it was the Teutonic Crusaders learned that lesson as well. Never invade Russia during the winter. I'm pretty sure it was the AI who was playing Aragon earlier. I don't think we've actually ever had an Aragon player now I'm thinking about it. We had a Castile player. I'm pretty sure that was just the AI though. And yes, the AI is really stupid sometimes. Considering Aragon is one of those hidden gems in Europe, they are a really good nation if you can play them right. They're ridiculously powerful. Specifically, their ability to control the Genoa trade node is insane. Yeah, the Polish did hold Moscow for quite a while, but they were driven out eventually. Yeah, invading Russia in the summer is also a bad time, because I didn't know this, but actually I don't know if this will show me. But, like, this whole area of Russia is a swamp. Although it's saying it's a grassland. I'm pretty sure that there's a big swamp right here, if I remember. I was reading about the Germans' invasion of Russia during World War II, and they actually had problems with swamps on the Western Front, or the Eastern Front for them, Western Front for Russia. Overall, invading Russia is a bit of a problem, because I'm pretty sure Russia could lose like 90% of its land and still not really notice. That might be a little bit of a over-exaggeration, but there's not a lot of people in this region. According to Max, the Dutch are very proud of being Dutch, but they do value the EU quite a bit. I suppose it probably helps the Dutch have the some of the EU's capital stuff inside it. It's a shame the EU is not a bit more united, but the EU was united as one country, they would be one heck of a nation. Can you imagine Europe as one country? It would be very powerful. More importantly, be very culturally rich, which is always a key thing. People always underestimate how much culture really plays a difference in your country. What are you guys doing again? Huh. Okay, I am not going to do that, so let's suppress rebels. Ottomans are now defender of the Sunni faith. I see. You know, I could probably be defender of the Orthodox faith and not really care, so. Wow, that's impressive as Aragon. Are you going for the whole Mare Nostrum by forming Russia? That'd be impressive. I don't actually know the story behind Poltava, the 29th of June, but as much as I know of my European history, some of the details are hard to find outside of the actual country themselves. Time to go admin as Russia, because, you know, Russia doesn't need any more states. By the way, in case people are wondering, I'm not really trying immensely hard as Russia. As somebody did comment one of the other times that I'm not trying as Russia. I'm really not, because Russia is that powerful. If you play Russia right, you can easily conquer most of Asia and Eastern Europe without too much trouble. It's kind of like the Ottomans. Not really fair, entirely fair to do in multiplayer. Not to say I'm not trying somewhat. I would kind of like to break China. It's kind of like breaking the HRE. It's always one of those fun things to do. And look at this. What a surprise. The Ming are losing this war. This is what happens when you try to do things unilaterally, Ming. You end up fighting a couple nations that can actually beat you. Well, Aragon, if you need help, we can definitely help you. You just have to let us know. Did I just get a lot more claims? Yeah, I just got a lot more claims as Russia. Wonderful. The other problems I'm having is I can't actually afford to make all the land I own states. The admin penalty. I can see why you definitely need to take administrative ideas as Russia, because this is a bit absurd. 200 admin military power to suppress rebels. No, thank you. I will much happily... That's terrible English, isn't it? I speaks English. I will happily send troops to crush them. I think I'll offend the church a little bit, get some free stability. What even is my monarch? 353 with a 363 heir. 60-year-old, he probably won't live much longer. Luckily he is a zealot, so we do have good conversion strength. 12 or so. Plus I believe we get a bonus for converting the area due to conquering that region. Huh. So Max, being Dutch, is a European first, then Dutch. Nice. Have I been following E3 a little bit? Mainly because both my girlfriend and my friend Baroness Stella, which is really annoying because they almost have the same names, are both really obsessed with Kingdom Hearts. That's actually how they got to be friends, is they like Kingdom Hearts. They're all at Twitter about the Kingdom Hearts stuff. Sicily should be under Turkish occupation. Oh. Oh, well, you're going to have to talk to Aragon about that. Although, at this point, Actually, no. Okay, Aragon's dealing with the rebels. Well, Ottomans, I think at this point you could safely turn on and kill both either the Mamelukes or Tunis, and no one would really care. Okay, so Aragon's having a little bit of trouble. Not a surprise. Oh, speaking of which, I should probably update people on victory cards before I forget. Oh, I have rebels, right? Do I have rebels? I don't actually know if I have rebels. Oh, I do have rebels, but the Ming are dealing with them. Thank you, Ming. In terms of score, I am second right now due to holding victory cards. Not doing too well on the diplomatic front. So let's see overall scores. I'm pretty sure the Ottomans are still in front. What a surprise. Yes, the Ottomans are in front with 6,500. Good portion of that is from holding 3,000's worth of victory cards. I'm sneaking in there with 4,600, mainly due to owning a victory card myself, followed by Burgundy. Oh, nice. Burgundy owns Burgundy and got a victory card on it. Well done, Burgundy. The Ming have 2,600, and Kilwa, oddly enough, is the next with 1,200, solely due to owning a victory card. Castile has nothing. Let's actually just take human players. Bottomanis doesn't have anything yet, but it's not doing too bad. Aragon's way below. Great Britain has nothing, or almost nothing, and Ireland legitimately has nothing, but is 20th in the world in military rank. So well done, Ireland. Oh, yeah. Can we just please end this stupid war versus the Ming already, Japan? They're not even daring to siege my fort, so they're just fighting rebels. They're just fighting rebels. Yeah, there's a Burgundy owning Burgundy thing. Yeah, I've heard the E3 games aren't too wonderful, and of course, average, thank you. Yeah, apparently Burgundy has a victory card on Burgundy itself. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Burgundy got the victory card while Burgundy did not actually own Burgundy somehow. Yep. Also the Loire Valley of France, assuming I've said that right. So Burgundy's probably going to snag both victory cards. That's partially why I invaded East Prussia, was for mine. And the Ottomans have well locked in their victory cards as well. And Blizzard is complaining it's no fun bullying the AI. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to fight a war with another person. Just talk to them first. Oh, there we go. So all that happened is the Ming gave lands, or let countries go. That was the sole conclusion of the war. Japan didn't get back any of the land they lost in an earlier war. So overall, not much changes. And Max is invading France. Go Max. Now I might actually be able to get some of my land out. Troops out of eastern Russia. Keep them from starving anymore come winter. At some point I do have to beat up Mongolia to take that land. I don't actually know what TES6 is offhand. I wasn't following it that closely. Oh, oi, is it alright if we invade you, mate? Well, there's invasion and then there's actual, you know, invasions. I'm sure they could work something out. I mean, if Blizzard just wanted Sicily, sure, I could see him invading Aragon, but considering the Aragonese player is already struggling just to deal with rebels, apparently they have particularists. A bit kind of cruel. Okay, so Aragon and the Ottomans might be having a little bit of a dispute. You just gotta remember, Blizzard, Sicily is like a third of Aragon's development, so they're not about to just hand it over for no particular reason. Oh, the Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. Skyrim 2 Battle Royale. I played a fair amount of Skyrim. It wasn't my favorite game. I do appreciate it. It's a pretty amazing game, but that would be very interesting. I know they remade Skyrim because it's so popular recently for the newer systems, but I'm not holding my breath for that. Any game that's more than like 2 or some odd years out is totally hypothetical. Ooh, Aragon wants an alliance. Sorry, Aragon. Unfortunately, I'm not ready to fight Blizzard anytime soon. I mean, I could. I mean, I guess I could fight the Ottomans, but it'd be a pretty rough fight on both sides. We're both very powerful. Kind of like, why did the European powers not always keep fighting each other? Because they would just, it would just be an endless war on both sides. I don't actually know how we stack up military-wise right now. I think I've got better troops right now, but it would be very rough. I could probably take on the Ottomans, but I don't really want to right now. I'm still in debt, and I did just fight off the Ming from expanding westwards. So. It's amazing how, despite how powerful Russia is, they have so many issues in game. Apparently, Caesar and WAG or whatever are degenerating into an argument over what is going to be the next battle royale. Europa Battle Royale. Maybe. I would like to see a new Victoria. But yeah, DLCs for Crusader Kings. Yeah, they do have a couple more areas they could improve in Crusader Kings. They also could have some quality of life. I've been following their development diaries, and there's 1 or 2 things they do need to fix, which it sounds like they are. So, by the way, in case anyone's curious, I got into Europa because I started playing Crusader Kings 2 back in the day. That's how I ended up here. I know, isn't it pathetic? I ended up playing video games because I was playing a Game of Thrones style simulator. Just let that be a lesson. Never let your kids play Game of Thrones style simulators, or they'll play video games for a living. Oh, at some point, I totally intend to go to war against Blizzard, but once we're both good and ready, um, Blizzard's still got more of the Middle East to subdue. I've still got more of Russia to subdue. We already have kind of set a tentative battle line over southern Russia, but right now it'd be rather destructive for both of us because we could still expand quite a bit without actually having to come into full contact yet. Well, to be honest about Crusader Kings 2, I'm honestly think they were surprised how successful it was. I'm pretty sure there's that element of, oh, this was a massively successful game that we did not expect to be massively successful. I can't say for sure because obviously I don't work at Paradox, as cool as that would be, or for Paradox, which would also be cool. Um, it's got a lot of. Crusader Kings is a very unique style game because it's one of the few games that doesn't necessarily focus you on conquer the world and destroy all your enemies militarily. So I think they'll probably keep it around just because it's kind of a novelty for a game, to be honest. Yeah, the new Paradox Roman game looks interesting. I've already done the whole follow thing for the rewards and stuff, but we'll see when it comes out. Um, most Roman games don't work well, but after their success with Crusader Kings and their success with Victoria, I think they can probably model politics and stuff fairly well. I've got some confidence they know what they're doing, but again, there really no game has really captured well Rome as a whole. The closest was Rome Total War, but that was quite a while ago. Oh, did we just have France lost even more land and apparently has decided to rival me? Huh. And that will slide Burgundy under Max into the fourth greatest power. Well done, Burgundy. Oh, and now France is no longer a valid rival. I love it when the AI rivals you and then like 2 seconds later, you're not a valid rival. And then all of a sudden you'll be a valid rival again. And then you won't be again. And it's just free power points, which is amazing. I'd like to get above 50, but I don't see an easy way of doing so at the moment. I need 3 more provinces from the Great Horde, and then I can stop invading southern Russia. Really, the only reason I need to do that is because I need to get to these colonized Siberia stuff. Not that this really makes a difference, because I've almost colonized the whole region at this point, but what is Russia without all of Russia, right? What is my favorite nation in like Europa? I thought I answered this question before. Or just in general, favorite nations, because inside of Europa, I don't know. I actually would have to think about it some. Huh. In terms of actual country, probably I like Saxony the best. Saxony's pretty awesome. I like their ideas and the stuff around them. Problem is they're not really viable. In terms of viable nations, probably Russia or France, really. I wish I could say England, but I don't like England's start. It sounds really stupid, but I do not like England's start game, mainly because you end up at war with France. And unfortunately, I'm competitive about not losing my land to France, so I always end up invading France, and then I get bogged down in land wars in Europe, which are almost as bad as land wars in Russia, so... Oh, in terms of formable, Mughals, probably. Mughals or Prussia. There's not actually a ton of formable nations, which is kind of disappointing. I definitely like playing the Mughals, though. If I played another multiplayer game, I might play the Timurids just to dominate the world. But, again, Mughals are a very unique nation, I guess. Plus, the new expansion should make them really interesting to play. I actually haven't formed the Sultanate of Rum. I'll have to try that at some point. It's just a pain fighting the Ottomans. Like fighting Russia, at some point you just lose all interest in killing them. Fighting the Ming is fun because they're so ridiculous. Breaking them apart is hilarious, but the Ottomans in Russia, it's kind of like killing France. It's just a pain. Oh. But Sultanate of Rum is kind of funny. So there's like one Sunni province ruining the massive Orthodox in Russia. I really do have to kick Uzbek out of their region, don't I? They're ruining my name. They're ruining the name. To be fair, I haven't actually investigated what you have to do to form Sultanate of Rum. Max says you can switch culture shift to Romania and then back to become Rum as the Ottomans. Huh, I might have to try that. If that's true, I might do that just to get the achievement. The problem is, in some ways for me, with some of the achievements, is you almost have to dedicate a whole run just to getting that one achievement. Case in point, my England game. Ugh, that was almost a full-length game just to get Anglophile. But it looks kind of cool, so I guess it was worth it. Cool emblem. Weird mission tree, I have to say. Who would have thought the English would have a mission tree to invade Danzig and Riga, of all places? Oh yeah, I'm looking at the rum ideas right now. They're pretty awesome. 10 morale of armies, 20 manpower recovery, 5 discipline, negative 20 core creation, max 1 promoted culture, 1 legitimacy, 3 tolerance of heathens, negative 15 naval maintenance, negative 15 construction. Those are okay. 3 missionary versus heretics, and 25% land force. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Oh, do you get the Ottoman government system from that too? In that case, it might be worth playing them. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting. Well, that might actually be worth trying to do for them. I haven't checked it out. Yeah, you have to play Scarman. I would probably do it first just to see it as the Ottomans, and I'd probably do it again as Scarman. I really should do a run where I just kill the Ottomans at the beginning and continue from there. I would do the Byzantines, but I know everybody's done those, and I've also done it already. Plus, I don't see why there isn't an achievement for recreating the Roman Empire as the Byzantines. It seems like a logical one to me. Yeah, the Janissaries are kind of awesome. I'm not sure if they entirely... I don't actually know what's stronger, Janissaries or Streltsy. I'm actually kind of curious about that. The Streltsy are pretty crazy with their modifiers. Probably do. The fact they can get to drill rather fast is rather awesome, though. I just realized I've been paying no attention to trade for ages now. Well, it looks like my trade system's actually functioning fine. Although I should probably steer a bit more trade in that direction. I just realized the next thing we're doing is global trade in terms of institutions, so I should do some of that. There is an achievement to form Rome as the Byzantines? I didn't think there was. I thought that was recreating the Eastern Roman Empire. Huh. Well, maybe I'll have to do that. Recreating El Andalus. That one... I've tried it. It is rough, to put it mildly. I mean, maybe I'll do it again at some point, but... I have to figure out a viable strategy, because some of the strategies I've seen... and that I've seen people do, is you literally actually don't leave Iberia. You just win the war with Morocco and Tunis. Somehow you manage to trick Castile into a war with Aragon or something. So I'd have to see which one I wanted to do. I tried fleeing to South America and then got killed. I think I actually have that achievement as the Eastern Roman Empire. Let me check. I didn't think that was actually creating the Roman Empire. I thought it was just recreating the Byzantine. Yeah, Basileus, as Byzantine, restored the Roman Empire. So I did that. But I don't think you actually have to own the full Roman Empire. I think you just have to own Eastern Roman Empire. Listen, I'm completely crazy, but I don't think you have to create the full Roman Empire as it. Tell you what, I'll look that up. Sure, I can glance at your nation picture on Discord. If you're talking about your Arabia one, that was pretty awesome. You just have to survive the Ottomans. I didn't think you could, Blizzard. I'm pretty sure you couldn't enforce peace between nations you're not stronger than, right? Oh, by the way, we can now apparently see India. Or maybe you enforce peace but lose. Okay. Oh, that might be a strategy I can try. Well, I'll remember to mention that that was your idea. Or at least you told me it. I don't know whose idea it was first. Maybe I'll give that a shot. We'll see. Problem is, it would take me probably like 20 starts to get it done. So we'll see. When are the jokes coming, Max? I don't know if I want to put people through too much pain and suffering today. I could find some. Let's see. Max is only here for the jokes. Of course you're only here for the jokes, Max. Why would you be here for any other reason? Who cares about conquering the world as Burgundy or rebuilding the Dutch nation? Let's see if I can find a good joke. We'll see. Okay, here's one. A man went to the vet to collect his sick dog. The vet came in carrying the dog and said, "I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to put your dog down." The man sobbed, "Why? He was fine when you came in." "He's too heavy," replied the vet. I'm just waiting in anticipation of the groans. Waiting in anticipation of the groans. Best puns? Hey, I've got a joke book. However, this is one section I do actually enjoy and are half decent ones. No, I'm not doing offensive jokes. Oxymorons. You guys know what oxymorons are? Oxymorons are things that don't make sense. For example, a good one, and a very common one, is military intelligence. You guys heard that one? I mean, it's essentially saying the military has no intelligence, so. What else do we have? We have a minor disaster. Never generalize. It's a new classic. An angry patient. A civil war. A genuine imitation. Death benefits. Governmental organizations. Peace force. Business ethics. Sometimes. Same difference. Airline food. I'm sure people can appreciate that one. What is airline food? Always don't? That's actually a good one there, Blizzard. Affordable housing. A crash landing. A deafening silence. I particularly enjoy that one. A lot of people like saying that. It was a deafening silence. Right up there with I couldn't care less, which means you do care. Virtual reality. Soft rock. I think that one's a bit off. A student, teacher, or old news? Eh, not the best puns. Why don't dogs make good dancers? Because they've got 2 left feet. Ha ha ha. Smart bombs, which missed over half the time. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, average. That's a pretty good strategy. Low aggressive expansion and vassals. It's one reason playing as the Pope is powerful, because the Pope can, if you're Papal controller and you've got the reduced aggressive expansion, you can expand very rapidly. I don't know how it's going in India, but El Hota down there in Batamanis is expanded a fair amount, from what I can tell. It's quite a large nation down there. I don't think they're in the Great Powers list. Oh, they are. Sneaking in there at 6. Do they actually have all their institutions? Oh, they don't yet. Oh, well, if they want knowledge sharing, I can give them knowledge. Actually, I can't because I'm not actually allied. Oh, I'm outside colonial range. Darn. North versus south. Yeah, that tends to happen. How is Malabar still alive, though? I thought you would have killed them. Oh, Aragon's on an expansion spree. I have no idea what Ireland and Britain are doing. They've been rather quiet. I assume they're colonizing the New World. First of all, there's another oxymoron. The New World. Not in contradiction in terms, but just a contradiction in general. The only New World you can be said to have would be kind of, I guess, would be after a volcano. Okay, Wag, you gotta keep it a little bit less offensive. We do have people who do watch this who are from the Middle East, so prefer if you don't offend them too terribly. Actually, I prefer if you don't offend them at all, but yeah. Sadly, most jokes are rather offensive if you actually stop and think about jokes in general. Anyway, here's another joke for you guys. A basketball player and a jockey just robbed a bank. Police are looking high and low. Okay, here's my half politically possibly offensive joke. A lifelong Republican suddenly announced that he was switching to being a Democrat on his deathbed. I can't believe you're doing this, said his friend. For your whole life you've been a staunch Republican. Why would you want to become a Democrat? Well, the guy replied, I'd rather be one of them that died than one of us. And here we have the emergence of the Netherlands. Good luck, Max. You'll probably need it. Just remember, I'll have to join any war. I can join any war you're in. Well, hopefully, Max, you've culturally converted that oh, never mind. Yeah, you might be having a little bit of issues. Yeah, I know you insult your rivals to get power projection. I just don't think I could actually get over 50, even if I insulted people. I don't actually think I have enough rivals at the moment. Oh yeah, I should probably rival the Ming to be. Oh, I'm at war. Oh yeah, I forgot I was at war. Oh, probably should do something about that, huh? Max apparently hates the Dutch, says the Dutchman. Hey, the Dutch are free-minded, independent, and like their freedom, correct? If a midget physics rob a bank, they'd be a small medium at large. That is great. That might be my favorite joke I've come across today. You can post stuff to Discord, just don't be offensive, honestly, please. Yeah, Kevin, let's not go to the Jewish jokes. There's some Jewish people who take that really seriously. It's like Muslim jokes. Some Muslims take it very nastily. Yeah, let's not target race and ethnicity. At least nothing particularly offensive. And by that means no real joke about sexuality, historical fates, or a lot of the other stuff. Now, if you were to say there was like a joke about Poland being conquered a lot, I mean, unless you generalize all Polish people, I mean, they did get conquered a half decent amount, but let's not get into the whole Jewish arguments, because that gets really awful, and I don't want to have to start banning people left and right. I've had to do it before, I don't want to have to do it again. Yeah, if you don't stop the jokes, I will have to start banning people. Yeah, I get that you dislike no ethnicities or religion, but it's still offensive. I've actually not seen Provis Gaming, but I can check them out. That would be kind of interesting. Always interested in new Europa stuff. Yeah, it was rather loud, wasn't it? I didn't expect it to happen. I mean, I can turn down my game sounds. I already have them virtually on nothing, but... Oh, what recording softwares I'm using? I am currently using... Let's see, which one is this? I am using OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. Not OBS Studio, but OBS itself. Oh, I'll look at the Moravia game for sure. What games do I enjoy out of Paradox, or is that just a general chat question? Because I've got a lot of games I enjoy outside of Paradox ones. We could be here a while. Yeah, the sound when stability goes up is a nice one. I'm trying to think of other ones. I think the personal union sounds pretty good too. Yeah, it's shocking, but if I didn't have the game sounds on, to the people who aren't actually playing the game, it would be pretty boring because I don't talk as much as a lot of streamers do. Well, if Germany and the Ottomans are winning two wars against Russia, first of all, if you're playing Europa and you form Germany, you're probably capable of taking on the Ottomans. Just pointing that out. The other option is you invade Russia first, or you ally with Russia or another enemy of the Ottomans. In terms of top 5 games that are not Paradox, Age of Empires 2, I'd have to say. I definitely join Age of Empires. I think I'll stick with computer games. Probably Bioshock Infinite. I really do enjoy that game. What else? You know, when everybody asks what games do you enjoy, it's always a shock of trying to think of which ones you do. I guess I like the Civilization games. I'm just gonna lump them all together because the difference between them is relatively small. I liked Total War, the Total War series. Specifically, I liked the Total War Shogun. That was fun. I actually did videos of that ages ago now. Other games I enjoy. I did enjoy Saints Row. That was fun. Obviously, I enjoy games like League or Overwatch to some degree. Oh, Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 for sure. I forgot all about that one. Definitely Borderlands 2. I do enjoy that. That's a fun one. I actually have several friends who play that, which makes it a lot more exciting. Doesn't Byzantine start with Empire rank in 1444? Because they were the remains of the Eastern Roman Empire. Pretty sure they start with Empire rank. I thought Black Panther the movie was pretty good. It did have its flaws. The largest one was that the plot was fairly predictable after... when was the point where it became predictable? I don't know. Pretty much as soon as that he found out that... Pretty much after, what is his name? Killdozer or whatever killed his boss. After that, you could predict the rest of it. Well, when I play League, I pretty much, in League, solely play Aram these days. I do like League itself, but I've just never have the will or the focus to actually play. Oh, that sucks. I don't really have the will or focus to play a lot of ranked League and stuff, or actually against other people, because I always end up playing with people who are relatively terrible. But at least on Aram, I find that there's a good amount of good players for that mode. I watched some of Arrested Development. I did not particularly, wasn't particularly crazy about it. I know that some people are absolute fanatics over Arrested Development, though. Someone I know actually has their internet password is the same as the password for the Arrested Development people's password. It's not me, by the way, but someone I know does. How much they're obsessed with it. Overwatch, though, I pretty much solely play ranked these days just for fun. How to get institution to spread fast? Well, if you've got the ability to do edicts, you can do edicts. If you're Orthodox, you can take their religious spread stuff. Other ways, I think, well, other than developing provinces, you just kind of have to wait. If you're lucky, you'll get knowledge sharing. There's a reason the DLCs are good in some sense. The biggest reason is it allows you to get institutions faster. And also to preempt it, my favorite movie series, probably the Lord of the Rings series. And the first Hobbit. Didn't really like the second, and the third was awful of the Hobbit, but I did love the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm particularly a fan of Lord of the Rings in general. We had a Killua player back a couple games ago, but there's no one playing Killua right now. Peace helps, yes. Also, having good relations with your neighbors if you're trying to get the institution to spread to you. Specifically, if your neighbors hate you, you can't get the Renaissance, which is kind of frustrating. Also, peace helps to some degree, as does, if I remember, prosperity as well helps. It could be crazy. I don't actually know. Prosperity doesn't seem to help. I don't know. Peace. I think peace helps. Oh, Max, the Netherlands are growing. What is your response? In terms of colonizing, Mexico is the best colonial nation by far. Colonial Mexico has a massive amount of gold, so it is very, very powerful. As a colonial nation, also, other than that, it's Brazil and the 13 colonies region. Oh, apparently Average wants to try and join again. Really? I thought Mexico was the best colonial nation overall. The amount of money and, in general, the land makes them very hard to conquer. I guess it does depend on who you want as a colony. Military Brazil, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Money is probably Mexico, though. 13 colonies has the most development overall. Huh. Interesting. Vive la Quebec. Vive le Quebec Libre. You joining the Quebec Liberation Front? Those feared terrorists of North America? Caribbean, I mean, I guess the Caribbean's rather rich, but I usually think the gold you get from the trade ships from Mexico makes them, at least early on, the best ones. The only issue with 13 colonies is they tend to rebel around 1776 or so. Anyhow, apparently the average is going to play as Portuguese Brazil, so this should be interesting. So here we go again. Yeah, sorry. I speak Spanish, not French, so I also know quite a few Portuguese people, so I'm not really good with French accents. Apparently, we have somebody else that wishes to join us. Jeeb. Huh, interesting. You mean not states like countries? Like different countries? Because I know there's some like I think it's like South Georgia or something that are trying to uh, succeed. Speaking of which, you guys hear that uh, Macedonia changed its name to I think it's the Northern Republic of Macedonia. They actually reached an agreement with Greece. Kind of interesting. Well, the issue was that if I remember, the Greeks saw their name of Macedonia as a like a militaristic sort of threat because Greece also has a region called Macedonia, and that was part of historic Macedonia. So I guess it was assumed that because they called themselves Macedonia, they had territorial ambitions to take that region from Greece, which is a problem because I believe it's Greece's richest area. So kind of crazy. Well, apparently we also nabbed ourselves a new player, Jeeb here. Now this is going to be interesting. And apparently the sarcasm level has just reached new heights. In fact, I would say it's currently trying to avoid crushing the International Space Station at the moment. Apparently we have a Swiss player now. This will be interesting. I don't actually know. Switzerland's actually, out of all the countries in Europe, Switzerland's kind of holding on to its original territory. So this will be kind of interesting. We'll give them a second or two to orient, and then we'll continue. I mean, we're only going for another 30 minutes or so. Oh, apparently they're continuing for us. So, here we go. In general, Max, you learn Spanish. You don't learn Spanish. Like, I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I can get by in Spanish. The only other one, obviously you can take Latin, but I don't know really. Latin's kind of it's a dead language. French is the other one people take. That's really it. Yeah, there's not a big focus on other languages in the U.S. It's slightly disappointed. In fact, a good portion of the reason behind that is there is quite a movement in the U.S. that they want to make English the national language. In case you didn't know that, English is not the U.S.'s national language. In fact, the U.S. has no national language. Interesting fact. But there's quite a lot of people who want English as the national language. Okay, here we go again. But usually people learn Spanish because there's a good portion of Spanish speakers in the U.S., even if some people would wish there weren't a lot of Spanish speakers in the U.S. So it's part of the reason for the current struggle in the U.S. political system between how much of our English roots do we actually want to maintain as America, and how much do we want to become even more cosmopolitan than the U.S. already is. So we'll see what happens. It's quite the political debate. Latin is a beautiful language in the sense that it is very it's very easy to understand. Once you understand it, it actually functions really well. The only thing it doesn't do particularly well is describe abstract concepts. But it does identification, naming, and just general formulation of sentences very well. Also sounds really nice too. Plus, you know, if you speak any of the Romance languages, which is pretty much half of Europe, you can kind of understand Latin to some degree. Or at least you can understand where your language came from Latin. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense. English and German are the two closest language relatives to each other, so that makes sense. Well, here's a fact. German is German in English. But the Dutch don't actually seem to. The Germans, if I remember in German, they say, oh, what is it? Something that sounds like they want to speak Dutch, which is interesting. Also, everybody seems to think like the Netherlands are Holland, but Holland is only a part of the Netherlands. It's a really fascinating discussion. Time to pick up the rest of that land I need to complete part of my mission tree. Excuse me. Stupid dry throat. Oh wow, Uzbek is being killed by the Timurids. Or being killed by the Ottomans. Huh. Amusing. Oh, my cold is gone. It's just the sore throat is left over. Okay, Average is apparently not playing Portuguese Brazil, even though the game thinks he is. So, well, that will correct itself, I'm sure. I don't know what degree of border gore is killable over. Oh, the Balearies are once again Christian. Okay. Well, unfortunately, the Canaries and Madeira are not. So, there's still a ways to go before you've actually converted all that land again. Well, again, and well done conquering the land. Aragon had lost it earlier to a Blizzard and a Tunis player. That's why it was Muslim. Yep, the Ottomans allying the Pope is actually a half-decently common occurrence. It's kind of amusing, but it happens. Fair amount, actually. So we've got about 15 to 20 minutes or so more of this live stream. Try and calling it around 3 hours just because that seems to be a good time for roughly everybody. And so just giving people a heads up. No idea, Blizzard. No idea whatsoever. Just gotta watch out for those border gore hunters who like to kill people who create massive border gore. So we've lost another player by Jeep or Jep. So we have now reached the full glory of the Russian name. Imperial Russia stretches from sea to sea, from sea to shining sea. Apparently I'm getting involved in a war in the HRE. Interesting. Or not, because I can't actually get to the battle, which is hilarious. Not terribly Blizzard. That was a pretty... It doesn't look that great, but it's not that bad. May you please do a colonizing guide? You want me to do a guide on colonizing? It's relatively basic. I mean, you take exploration ideas followed by expansion, and if you have the ability to, you get the burger interaction that gives you more settlers. If you want to colonize really quickly, you do native repression, but you have to deal with revolts, which means you have to execute a lot of Native Americans. Or if you want to colonize peacefully, you do native coexistence. Nobody takes native trading policy currently except for France. There, that's pretty much the guide on how to colonize. Send out your ships, and that's pretty much it. Sure, I'll look at Provis Gaming. So in case people are curious, Valencia is the center of global trade. All trade is flowing to Valencia, apparently. So institutions are here. Apparently France is down to both Burgundy and Aragon, so this is interesting. We also need to start moving towards bringing this to an end. Obviously, if you guys are in a major war, we can wait till the end of that. But it's almost 3 hours now. So just letting everybody know. Well, unfortunately, if you never want to end, you'll have to go set up and run your own multiplayer server and put in a hack or a mod so that the game runs on forever rather than stopping in 1820. Other than that, we do have to bring it to an end at some point. Also, can we point out that Tuscany is apparently on quite an expansion spree along with Milan? That's kind of a horrifying thing. Those two have conquered most of Italy together. Yep, no problem, Average. Enjoy yourself. Good luck with Arabia. Okay, we have to start thinking about bringing this to an end. So if you guys can, start polishing up your wars. I mean, I can always pause the game if you guys need to peace out and stuff, but we're moving towards the end here. I'm gonna go until I finish off this, at least this war I'm fighting over here against a one province nation. So you guys have at least till that long. If not, though, you'll have to continue next game. Well, I think we can safely say France is dying. The Ottomans are apparently setting it up so if they don't show up again, the AI will at least continue expanding eastward. I'm pretty much just gonna squash these rebels and I'm ready to stop, but we have one claim to have it let it end on January 1st, so we will probably do that. Obviously I'm still in a war, a couple other people in wars, but overall doesn't look like anybody's in trouble. Apparently Ireland and Britain are beating up the Congo? Is that the Congo for both of them? Huh. Ireland, Irish Congo. I thought it was the Belgians who were in the Congo, but guess I can be wrong. Irish Congo. Why not? It is currently the 1st of July, so we've got a handful of months left. The Ottomans' name has expanded as well. And there are no more Muslims in Sardinia. Well, good for Aragon, slowly retaking land in their reconquesta, pretty much. Or reconquesta, to be more accurate, because the Muslims were doing fairly well there for a while. But with the loss of the Tunis player, hopefully they come back someday. Tunis is weak. Tunis has a colony? Wow. Apparently Tunis is deciding to colonize. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen the AIs do colonizing. Although, to be fair, that might have been... No, I don't know. That might have been picked by the human player. Wow, that's fascinating. Colonial Tunis. I don't think I've ever seen the AI do that on purpose. But we've got about 2 months left, and then we are going to... In 20 years or so, we'll be halfway to 1821. So we still got a ways to go. Not halfway there, so this will be the end of session 4, and so session 5 will pass the halfway mark. So I'd say we've got about another 5 sessions or so if we go to the end of the game, unless of course a update or something completely wrecks the save file, or nobody shows up again. Although if nobody shows up, we'll just start a new one again. So we have roughly like 10 days left till we stop. So, and here we go. It is January 1st, 1611. So that will be it for this time. Same time roughly next week, unless something comes up. Okay, well, thanks everyone for showing up and having fun. And I'll try and host this again next week around the same time. If something comes up, well, something comes up. Hopefully it won't. And we will be able to do another 4 or 5 sessions to round it out. Obviously, if we know that there's a patch coming out or something relatively soon, I'll try and host more sessions so that we can bring it to an end if possible. And yeah, these streams have been fun. Okay, well, I'll just zoom out here and take a quick picture of the world. And I will end up posting it on the Discord page, which if you guys want to contact me or anything, that would be a way to do so, or comments. And I'll see you guys all next time. That's it from me for now. Bye for now.